The following program does not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of United Cable of Scottsdale Limited.
Good evening, Mr. DeLillo. My name is Barbara Wurts. This is my first evening at the Gallery Walk on Thursday nights, and I'm fascinated by your creative art that you've brought all the way from France. Would you be so kind to tell me what motivated you to create this four-paneled piece called The Jet Set? It's fascinating.
Well, I created it because I've always been a people watcher, and I know a tremendous amount of people, and so I wanted to point out that the similarity, if you look at the piece, you see similarity at first, and then you realize the piece is divided in four panels, meaning New York, Rome, Paris, and Palm Beach. And what I want to show is that when you look closely, you see the difference of faces, you see difference of color, and difference of formation of hairs, which mean Oriental or African or etc. And then you see also divisions in the back panel, which mean that you see two people together, one or two or three or five, because in the jet set, usually everybody knows what everybody is doing, you see. And so that is more or less my message, you see. And also a message of kindness and cruelty and selfishness and luxury.
So there's a lot of psychological motivation behind this piece.
Yes, very much so. I'm told by some people that I'm totally wrong by my explaining this, and they say it's because my father was the oldest man in Belgium. I'm born in Belgium. We came back from a concentration camp alive and told us many horror stories of these circumstances. And so they tell me that as I was very young then, that I have this impression of faces and people etc., always in my head, you see, which I see also in dreams, etc., and that's why I did this.
So this is something
This is right, but I'm not aware of it.
you don't think this is correct, but you did see this in a dream prior to creating?
Well, I always see faces in a dream, yes, all the time, yes.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. Obviously,
Like it?
I love it, and I could stand and look at it for hours on
It's all
end.
made by hand.
I love it. It is beautiful, and there are many other pieces here that I love as well that belong to you, and also to Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark, good evening. It's wonderful to see you here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I think you've brought a beautiful lady all the way from France. Can you tell me about this ballerina?
Well, I created in France, and it's a prima ballerina, and I try to capture the lightness of a prima ballerina, and since prima ballerina is the head of the corps, I decided to do her head as a keystone.
I see.
And you'll notice in the arm is a keyhole as well. And
Was there a particular ballerina in France that motivated you for this piece? A particular lady.
Alicia Markova, who is a friend, you see.
He met who?
Alicia Markova, you see.
Is this in Paris?
The time that he lived in New York and we saw her in Europe, you see. And then we also knew a ballerina that danced in a group of Pavlova, you see, who lived in France right opposite where we are, where we have the studio.
I see. So this lovely lady wasn't something that came to you in a dream. She was in flesh and blood.
yes, yes, of course.
Well, it's wonderful that you have brought her all the way from France to show us. And as I said about Mr. DeLillo's, you, Mr. Clark, have some other pieces that are absolutely wonderful, and everyone should come in and participate on the gallery Thursday night gallery walk. I'm certainly enjoying it. And now we're at the Mammon Gallery to visit with Del Diesel and to see some of her visual journalistic art. Good evening, Del.
Hi, Barbara. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. I have had a walkabout, and I'm inspired by your artwork and the stories that each piece of art tells. Can you tell me a little bit what you feel when you're creating these paintings?
Well, within the last year, I have sort of reverted back to more or less my figure painting. I love figures in environments, in controlled environments, and I prefer this rather than just doing a character study as such. I like to see people involved in activities, in doing things around them. Yeah.
I've also noticed that in several of the pieces here, a lot of backs are facing me. Can you tell me why their backs are to me?
Sure. I'll let you make up the faces. No, actually, I think that gives a chance for the viewer to get into the activity that my figures are looking at or are participating in. It gives me a chance as a painter then to get more expression into the figures through body language, through the gestures of the figures, and as you know, body language tells a lot. And this is what I'm really going for, rather than out-and-out portraiture, caricature types of studies, you know, where you see a face and you recognize.
And we concentrate when I see a face. And speaking of faces, I see these faces of Eve, which we've just the camera's just been looking at. What motivated these lovely ladies?
Well, now they're not looking backwards.
They're not looking backwards, obviously.
Yeah.
They're not.
No, years back I was heavily involved in fashion work, and as a matter of fact was lucky enough to be named one of the 10 top fashion artists in the United States. And in doing these figure paintings, this was my very last one for this show, I thought, why not go back to fashion, because models are such a part of our lives, and we see them, and to all outward appearances, they're rather, they're beautiful, but they're rather shallow, you know, when you look at them, because their makeup, they're perfect, their hair is perfect, everything, but they always have such great eyes.
And we're not that way. I mean, in real life.
But they have such great eyes, and then there's really so much behind them. And this is what I was thinking of. I wanted to take the fashion concept and yet tell it further than just a fashion story, and that's what I'm trying to do with it.
Well, they're beautiful, that is to say, but I see that. And I notice in the gallery there are certainly a lot of faces, but what is captivating to me is Daisy. Is
Daisy,
this can we see Daisy?
Sure, you can see Daisy. Shall I take you?
I would like, if you have the time, I would like to see that.
Okay, love to.
I'm on.
And this is Daisy. Well, it's not actually Daisy, it's the Daisy picture, and I was wrong in the title, but this is my favorite here, and I'd like to know, do you know this Daisy, or is it something out of your imagination?
Something from my imagination. I like to, I have and like to do older people. There's humor, there's experience, and lots of things in their face, you know, and this came about because we live in Phoenix and we have lots of transients come in, and I was thinking, I'm sure they're happy older street people that make Phoenix a resting stop, and yet I really didn't want to put anybody down with this, so I had to make it kind of a happy painting, and I think
a little romance.
A little romance
here.
Yeah, and he's handed her a daisy, and I think she's a daisy. He picked a daisy, and that's kind of the thing, and they're just, they're happy with each other.
This is one of my favorites because it is happy. I do notice that the lady next to the Daisy picture is somewhat sad, but of course the painting is just as lovely. Can you tell me a little bit about that one?
Well, that was done after reading the book called Fillory, and it was taken from the heroine in the story. That it's just an imaginary picture I had of her, and it's of a. The reason it's sad is because it was of a genteel woman who was really placed in very harsh conditions and environment out near Lake Roosevelt, what have you, and she just had to adapt to those things, and I think the dreamy, maybe she's thinking about better days and what she's facing ahead and that sort of thing. I think that's where the sadness comes from.
It seems in her eyes tells the story of a lifetime, doesn't it, as well?
I think I'm very much aware of people's emotions. I like to project it. I hope other people can pick up
Obviously,
on that.
I certainly pick up even in some of the paintings that have their backs to me as the farmer's market. So can we have a look at that one?
Yeah. There again, as I mentioned to you earlier, you probably have put faces on some of these people that have their backs.
You're right.
But this is the kind of thing where I talked about I like to get some back views and body language so that I can show gestures and like the older woman who's sitting there. She looks like she's tired of waiting, and where on earth is that guy that he was supposed to bring her a hamburger 10 minutes ago or something like that, and they're just tired, they're resting. The old boy that's reading the book is maybe been there for an hour or so. He's completely oblivious to everything, and the table's obviously been cleared in front of him, so it's just a resting spot for him. And they're in the shade, and it's just people in socially acceptable situations, and this is what I like to see.
And in this particular farmer's market, I think I could probably be in Scottsdale, Arizona, or France. Or
any place, right.
And for you, where were you when this farmer's market?
Well, this was sort of a composite of things that I had looked at when I was at farmer's market in Los Angeles.
I see. And I was noticing next to this, we have a lady a young girl who's contemplating marriage.
Oh, you mean are you looking at the, and the bride or the blue one?
The bride.
The
young
bride?
lady, yeah.
Oh, the bride. Well, this was just
Is that family?
No, this was just a thought that I had about, I see things that sort of excite me or turn me on, and I had seen something that reminded me a long time ago that this would be kind of a neat way of the very obvious tomboy looking into a mirror, and rather than seeing her reflection back just the way she is, she would see herself projected into the mirror as she would like to be. And so she becomes a bride, and
And she will be one day. Obviously, she's seeing
She
perhaps.
might be tomorrow. I don't know how soon the time's going to be.
Well, I think for me, when I'm looking, and probably for all of us, when we come and see your paintings, I'm seeing psychologically, all of us, who we are here in America. I mean, you have everything from the older people to the young, and a lot of humor. I see a tremendous amount of humor, so I think you must have a great sense of humor.
Well, I think people have a lot of humor without really realizing it, They, there are many courses out on how our actions, speak louder than words. This sort of goes along with that, the fact that they are doing things, and it's sort of candid camera in a way. If you paint someone who's actually posing in front of you, you're apt to get rather static with your approach, and they become static because it's like, if you're posing for a formal picture, you all of a sudden try to put your best foot forward, and it's usually not your best. So when you take this candid approach, you're catching people a little bit off guard, and they're more natural. And then as I say, I do a lot of sketching. I do a lot of black and white, and then I do color things. I don't ever use a given photograph or snapshot as my composition, but I will take several of these things and make up my own composition from that and then go from there. So I usually invent a situation. I've told Betty Mammon that I quite frequently title my works when I'm first starting them, because I lose myself like an actress would in my painting.
And you become each and every one of these characters.
I try to think how they would feel, or how they would stand, or how they would hold a hand, or what suggests, say, patience, or what suggests impatience or something, and I try to emulate that then when I'm painting, and having the title in mind usually helps me. It's kind of like a story. I kind of stay with it then, and if I lose that first feeling, I might as well put the painting aside and start over again.
Well, I certainly do. Thank you for taking this time to familiarize me on my first Thursday night gallery walk. and I'm hoping to come back again because it's been
Well,
so
I hope
delightful.
you do.
Thank you
And
so much.
It's been really wonderful meeting you, and I've enjoyed talking with you very much.
Well, thank you for sharing, and good night. We'll see you again.
Good night.
We're talking to these wonderful people from Leisure World,
Yes.
finding out that this is your first evening.
That's right. This is our
this is your
first
first
tour.
evening to the.
Yeah.
Mine too, actually. The first
Yeah.
evening to the gallery walk. Do you have a favorite artist you've come to see?
Who's your favorite artist, Mother?
Oh, I'm going to check them all out, but I am going to look at watercolors, which I
See watercolor. You know, Del Diesel is here tonight. She's starting, and there's some wonderful things. I've seen them.
Yes, and I really like the Mammon
Go in and have a great time. Thank you for talking to us. Bye-bye. Good evening. Will you say a couple of words to us, sir, into our camera?
Well, I enjoy coming down here to Scottsdale, and have done it many times. I try to get my wife, but she has a little trouble walking right now. But there's so many beautiful things to see.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Well, have you come to the Mammon Gallery before this evening?
Yes, I've passed through.
Have you come to a Thursday night walk before?
No.
This is
will be the first
wonderful.
time.
This is wonderful. It's my first time. I hope you enjoy yourself.
I sure
Good night.
will. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Leisure World, more from Leisure World.
That's right.
Can you tell our camera here and for Phoenix something about your interest in artists or why you're here this
I
evening?
came because I got a free dinner. My wife arranged the trip. No, I'm an artist, and I think you're doing a great job.
That's
Thank
a
you
great
very
idea.
much.
Thank you very much. Are you the lady? All right, well, towards the light up here. Can you tell us if you've been to the Fifth Avenue, the Gallery Walk before, Thursday Night Gallery?
No, we have not, but we visited the Main Street galleries many times.
Is there a particular artist you've come to see?
This particular artist we like to see.
Del Diesel?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I've gone through, and it is absolutely magnificent. You'll love everything. See you later.
Thank you.
I'm with her.
You're with her. You can say something.
Well,
Can you
I'm
talk to us
happy to be here.
Well, we're very happy to have you. So you've done this before as well.
Never on the walk
the
itself. We
walk.
just come down here and watch, look
It's
at.
very festive. It's even more fun on Thursday night. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Can you tell us something? Have you been before? Do you have a favorite artist?
I haven't been to this one before. I've done this kind of thing in other cities. So this is exciting to
And
do.
where are you from?
I used to live in La Jolla, California.
Naturally, a lot there. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for talking with us. Ladies, would you say something to us?
I'm delighted to be here. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Well, thank you very much for coming. Good evening. Hi, how are you? You look big smile. We're going to have fun. You're going to have fun.
Right.
Come on in. Hi there. Have you come a long way to see the walk tonight?
Well, we've come from Mesa.
From Mesa? And you've been before, have you?
No, I haven't. So I'm looking forward to an interesting evening.
Particularly, have you come to see Del Diesel or any other sculptor or artist?
And no one in particular, just everyone in general.
Well, have a good time. Thank you for talking with us. Hi there. As you can imagine, we're trying to promote the walkabout on Thursday evenings, so we'd like to know what brings people. And what brought you?
We're from Leisure World, as you know, and just a beautiful evening and a good time, we hope.
Oh, well, thank you for talking with us. Hi. You're with her? All the men say, I'm with her.
Right.
And so, this is your first evening, sir?
My first what?
First evening for the Thursday night walkabout?
Mm-hmm.
Have a good time.
Thank you.
My goodness, there's a lot of you from Leisure World. Oh, you're the walkabout. We've heard about you.
This is our leader, Fran.
Can you come out here in the light a bit more so we can see you?
Co-leader, Fran.
Here's the leader. Your name is?
Fran Orban.
Fran Orban. And you've organized this walkabout group?
Organized this walk with
This walk.
We are a walkabout Arizona group.
Can you tell us that people like me, I don't know what you are. Can you tell us what you do?
We're a walking group, and we put out the newsletter, and in it we list walks that are held on a daily basis. We tell where they meet and all the particulars. And if anybody would like a Walkabout Arizona newsletter, they can write into us. We have publicized in the daily newspaper and many of the newspapers.
That's wonderful. Well, go ahead. Thanks for talking to us, and come on in. And you are all walkabouts. Well, can I get any other walkabout to...
We just walked 3 miles.
Good evening. Are you from Leisure World?
We're all from Leisure
You
World.
are all from Leisure World?
Yes.
Would you be so kind as to give me a few words about if you've been before to the gallery Thursday night walk, or if you have a favorite artist, why you've come?
We have a lot of favorite artists, but at the moment, some of them, we don't know exactly which ones we're going to see tonight. So we're very anxious to see what we're going to see.
Well, you have arrived right in front of the Mammon Gallery, and this tonight is featuring Del Diesel. She works in various mediums, and I love her. I think you're going to enjoy her work. She does. Wonderful. It's just absolutely sort of a video expression of journalism. It's wonderful. Have a good time, and thank you for talking to us. Hi there. With that big smile, you'll talk to us. There's so many people tonight with these huge smiles.
And that's how I brought this group here.
So it's you that brought everybody.
Yes, I brought everybody here.
Well, then you can say some nice things about Del Diesel.
Well, I met Del Diesel when I was on a trip to California, and I saw her sketching everything, and I introduced myself, and that's how I got to know her. That's why we're here tonight. That's right.
Thank you for talking with us. Hi there.
Hello.
Can you tell me, have you been before on Thursday evening?
Not on Thursday evening.
Thursday evening.
We come over occasionally, but not Thursday evening.
On Thursday week. Do you have a favorite artist? Have you come to see a particular artist?
This time we're hoping that the Watercolor Association will have some showing tonight, and we're looking
watercolor.
forward to it.
Well, Del Diesel have some watercolor there as well. Thank you for talking.
Thank you.
Good night. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Just fine. Will you tell our camera, our people here, if you have been before?
Yes, I've been on Thursday evening before, and I thought it was quite enjoyable.
So you have your tennis shoes on, ready to walk a walk?
I've got on the S shoes.
Well, thank you for talking
Thank
with us. Oops, don't take the cord with you. Good evening. How are you this evening?
I'm fine, thank you.
Have you been on the Thursday evening
No,
walk before?
this will be my first time.
And you come to see anyone in particular, any artist in particular?
No, I'm just interested in all kinds of art, and I'll be interested in seeing what they have here.
Well, wonderful. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Hi there. Good evening.
How are you?
Have you been to the Thursday evening walk
about
before?
2 years ago.
So you're an old hand at this?
Sorry, an old hand at lots of things.
Or have you come to see anyone in particular?
Not in particular. I'm anxious to see what the pictures are this year.
Wonderful. Thank you for talking with us. Bye-bye. You're with her.
I'm with her.
You're with her. Every gentleman comes out following a lady, and he says, he doesn't want to talk. I'm with her. Will you talk to me and tell me if you've been before?
No, I haven't been
You
here
haven't
before.
been before?
No.
And, well, have you come to see a particular artist?
No, I just came to see the whole group.
Well, you're going to, I think, start off very well because Del Diesel is featured here tonight, and she works in various medias, and she's absolutely fabulous.
Oh,
I just
great.
snuck in to see it. Thank you for
great.
talking.
Thank
You're a good
you.
sport. Well, our Leisure World people have arrived. Our walkabout group has arrived. Everyone is having a good time. We hope you'll come down and join the Thursday night walkabout. Thank you for watching. Good night.
City, as Ms. Campana has just been talking about, since she doesn't have the insight on many of these programs, it's hard for me to realize that she knows more about them than I do. Anyway, so I hope that you folks, when you go to the polls on February 18th, you get some facts and not some misfacts, as we've been given this morning or this afternoon by Ms. Campana. There are a lot of things I'd like to tell you, but in 5 minutes, it's pretty hard to summarize for 28 years, and I'm very proud of this city, and I still am proud of it, even though it's torn up a little bit right now. Sure, it's inconvenient. Sure, you have to go through these things, but you have to crawl before you can walk, and we're going to be walking here in another month, and you're going to all enjoy it and bring all your friends down here to see it every day and take pictures, and you are going to be proud of Scottsdale as I am. This is a wonderful city, and it's been put together by citizen participation, and that is exactly what we had to get this downtown going. We had citizen participation. It was a task force that gave us the recommendation for this downtown. It wasn't just a few people sitting around saying this is what we're going to do to inconvenience everyone. It was a task force that came forward and told the city council, let's have some foresight like we have done in the past. Let's get this downtown viable so it doesn't die. Let's get people in the downtown area. We need 24-hour people. The only way we could do it was to go up a little bit higher with some of our residential buildings, and that's what we're going to do. It's not high-rise. 5 stories is not high-rise where I came from, and you won't even be able to see it from very far away. But we do need that height to get some residential facilities in the downtown area, and it's just foresight on the part of your city council that you are going to have it. I didn't mean to get on that little tangent, but some people make my blood boil sometimes on miss facts. What I would like to tell you folks is that in my 4 years on the city council, I have been the human resources representative for the city for Maricopa County. And in that position, I have been blessed with the opportunity to fund some of the programs that you have in this city for the elderly and for the senior citizens. We do have the brokerage system in Scottsdale, and it's because we have the brokerage system that we are in such good shape, because we can have facilities come in here that you people need. We do try to get people in here that you need their services. I keep wanting to say VISTA, but that's not right. Anyway, you have your volunteer program, you get your Red Cross in here, you have your mobility programs, you get your screenings, you have attorneys. We get all these people that come in for the needs that you have in this community, because Scottsdale is different. It's not like every other city in the valley. We have different needs than other people have, and it's through the human resources that we visualize what Scottsdale needs and gets them out here. There's one other thing I would like to say too. There are federal cutbacks coming, and they're coming, and a lot of people are scared. They're afraid some of their programs are going to be cut off. Scottsdale is in such great financial shape that some of these programs you won't even notice that there have been federal cutbacks, because we were taking care of our own. Scottsdale has never relied on federal monies for their programs. This is why, folks, that we have brought the PJ in here. This is why we have the Mayo Clinic coming in. This is why people have invested millions of dollars in the downtown area so that we can have sales tax monies to keep your people's programs going without the aid of federal government. Scottsdale is innovative. They're up front. Last March, when everyone was back in Washington crying because the federal monies were going to be cut back, Scottsdale was saying, we're looking forward. We are not looking to having our programs cut off because of federal government money. We are looking forward to getting our own monies by expanding our tax base so that we can have these programs. And folks, they're there. You are going to have them because of the foresight of the city council that you have. The foresight of people like Billy Gentry, Dion Cusack, and myself. This city is in great financial shape. Mrs. Cusack told you we have the lowest tax rate in the valley, 89 cents per hundred. If we were in lousy financial shape, your taxes wouldn't be that low. We have a AA+ bond rating. If we were in such indebtedness, thank you.
Billy Gentry will be our concluding speaker, and when Billy has finished, if the ladies would just remain there, and you have any questions that you would care to ask, I'm sure they would be delighted to answer to the best of their ability. Billy Gentry.
Thank you, George. And for me, too, it's like coming home again, because so many of us have worked together. I see Chuck and Bill and John and a lot of people here in the audience today where we have worked together in the past. And one of the main things that we worked together on was this senior center, because many of of you participated in the committee. I chaired the committee for the city as to what kind of a senior citizen center we needed here in Scottsdale. And this is what we had visions of and what we were able to